get my eyes in the right spots, and I think just being able to rep that all week helped.
Mike LaFleur said you were more calm in the huddle than maybe ever all season. Did you feel it?
I mean, maybe to an extent, probably just the most comfortable I've ever been from an offensive standpoint of just, understanding my job, what I'm looking for, my goal of what I'm supposed to be trying to accomplish every play. So I think it's easier when you feel like you have that down, you can just, take more control of it.
Mike LaFleur mentioned being able to read with your feet. So from your perspective, how's that process of developing, just being able to read with your feet been this year?
Yeah, I think it's improving every single week, and I feel like this week, even from last, it's getting better. And I don't think it's ever gonna come a time where you don't keep improving that part of the game and finding that balance between when to step up, when to just get a ball out of your hands, when to take off. It's something I'm still trying to figure out, and I think it's just going to keep improving.
I mean, there's obviously more scrutiny in this market. There's more of us here and all that kind of stuff. What was your expectation of kind of the attention? I mean, obviously, number 2 overall pick, you're going to have a lot of attention. But what was your expectation of what, how much you would be scrutinized and whatnot, when you got here, and how is it maybe different than you thought it may be?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question because, BYU had a pretty good, I'd say, media base as well. Obviously, it's nowhere near, New York and everything, but I guess a part of me almost didn't really care, kind of the opinions of others outside of the facility, just because it didn't matter, So, whether it was more or less than I expected, it almost didn't care, And I think even now, what I say to my coaches, what they say to me is kind of all I listen to. I don't really listen to the outside noise, and so I feel like it's kind of been what I expected, I don't feel like it's been challenging at all to handle.
You said you're more comfortable than ever. How does that kind of manifest itself, like maybe from last week compared to week 1 or 2? Is it pre-snap, is it in the pocket? I'm guessing it's kind of all those things, but what is different now than then?
Yeah, reps. The best way to be a good starting quarterback is to start and play, and so I just feel like when you just get a lot of reps at something, you're just going to keep getting better at it, just like every profession anyone does in the world. You're going to get better at something the more reps you get, and so I think I'm just getting more and more snaps, and it's just feeling more comfortable to keep doing the same things.
Are you a patient person?
I think so.
Do you expect the results right away?
No, I have a high expectation for myself to do well, of course. I understand it's going to be a challenge, being a rookie and everything, but I understand that it's a process, and as long as I'm making growth and heading in the right direction, I can just keep working at it. It's the process right now rather than the end result. We're working for something bigger than just this right now.
This past week, obviously, you kind of reversed it. You had a terrific first half, which was what you've been working for, and then things didn't go as well in the second half. What did you feel was the difference in this game?
I'd say we probably didn't really play in the second half. I'd say that was probably the biggest issue. And there's no one to blame for that. We got to take advantage of our opportunities. We had 3 plays in the third quarter. That's an opportunity for us to do something right there, and we didn't. I thought it was a cool challenge for us to experience of, sitting there and needing to bring that energy and bring that juice back, even when there wasn't any. Even when we were sitting there for a while, we need to be able to just come out and do our thing just like we were. And, I think you also have to give the other team credit. Teams make adjustments, teams do things, and, that's the flow of the game. I don't think it was anything necessarily that we were doing in the first half and all of a sudden just stopped doing in the second half. I think it's just part of the game.
After the game, Robert said that it was by far your best performance, especially in that first half, and he said he thought you were on your way to having, I think he said, an explosive performance, a big game. Did you feel that? Did you feel that, especially with those first 3 drives, that you were really getting into a flow and a rhythm, and just what was that, for you, that first half in particular?
Yeah, I feel like it was just the first half. I finally got to play football this year and actually feel like we were doing something on offense, and I was getting things going, and I was feeling comfortable with what we were doing on offense, and things were just rolling. I wasn't obviously looking to anything in the second half, just as far as the fact of just how can I do the best I can on every single play still, and just keep this thing going, and just adjust with how the game is kind of going. And unfortunately we got stopped for a little bit and just kind of sit there and wait for our chance. And I still thought we did some good things in that fourth quarter, as far as moving the ball up and down the field, but needing to finish, and then I need to take care of the ball.
Zach, it seems like almost every year, with quarterbacks in particular, towards the end of the season, right around like this point, there's that quote-unquote rookie wall. You know, the NFL season's longer than the college season. It's even longer this year than it's been. How do you feel mentally? How do you feel physically? I mean, have you heard about that? Have you talked to people about ways to counteract that? I mean, where are you at in that regard?
Yeah, well, I think the cool thing about my situation is I'm kind of looking at this like this is my second year. You know, kind of like I already played a first season. You know, I took some games off because of injury, and now I feel like that excitement, the energy to want to like play and finish this season, you know, is 100% there for me. Just because I feel like I learned so many things, and then I worked to improve on them, and now I got to show them in the game. And so now I feel like, you know, I'm 2 games in to a new season. You know, I feel like, you know, the last 5 I got to take, you know, very seriously as far as just working to improve every single day. So, you know, I'm just really excited to go to practice every single day to apply just kind of what I've been working on, what I've been seeing. You know, I've just been very eager to just try and get better.
Do you pay attention at all to guys like Trevor and Justin Fields, your guys in your draft class, and you know, and Mac Jones is, you know, having a lot of success with New England. They're in first place. Do you keep an eye on those guys?
I actually haven't. You know, I think early in the season, I think I might have at first. You know, see how those guys are doing. I got a relationship with you know, most of them. I would say. You know, I hope they do well. And you know, as the season has kind of gone on, it's just, you know, gotten busy. I haven't watched anything of any of those guys. You know, in probably weeks. You know, but I know those guys are probably taking the same approach I am as far as just trying to get better and improve every week.
Did you become close with anyone in particular during another quarterback in this class during the draft process?
I wouldn't say anyone super close, just because we all kind of trained at different spots. You know, me and Justin spent a good amount of time, you know, throwing together for combine stuff. But you know, besides that, that was kind of about it. You know, but it was cool just to be able to exchange some stuff on the field, you know, here and there, and it's cool to see their game, and you know, you always hope they do well.
The Saints, they play a good amount of man coverage, so you'll probably see that a lot this weekend. So, what type of challenges will that present for you guys?
Yeah, I got to be accurate. You know, we got to win. You know, I know the receivers know the challenge coming ahead for them as well. I got to give those guys a chance with the ball, and then really we just got to execute. We got to be efficient. I got to be able to make the right decisions, understand when to get off of something, and just give our guys a chance to make plays.
And to follow up with the reading with the feet part, and obviously if it's zone, it's a little bit easier because you just get to your drop and they kind of have a free release. But man, they can kind of mess with that timing. So how much of a challenge would that be also when it comes to, you know, marrying you reading with your feet and trying to make sure the timing is right with the receiver against man coverage?
Yeah, I think it's just understanding that, you know, when someone's getting thrown off on a route, you know, whether you need to hang on it, give them a second to win, or if you can tell yourself that it doesn't look good. Now can I just go to the next option and move on? So, you know, it's that challenge we're still working on every day in practice, but I feel like it's improving and getting better, and I feel like I'm getting that feel of letting those guys win.
You may be potentially, depending on what happens with Coleman and obviously Elijah, potentially down, you know, your top 2 receiver and running back. What does that do to the degree of difficulty for you, you know, this week?
Yeah.
If that's the case.
Yeah, I really don't feel like it's changed much, and I think part of it is the NFL is full of, you know, extremely talented guys, and you know, I think people say it all the time, like the best compared to the worst in this league is very slim, right? It's very minor, and so I feel like the next guy up has something to prove as to why they weren't maybe on the active roster before or whatever. So I feel like those guys are hungry and ready to be in this situation and you know, ready to take advantage of the opportunity. So I feel like we've had a good week of practice and haven't lacked in anything. And those guys understand the challenge coming for them as well. And so, you know, I'm not going to approach it any differently.
Is
A few more for Zach.
this a big game in Provo with you and Taysom?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know the last time this probably ever happened where, you know, 2 BYU quarterbacks are playing against each other. So it'd be cool. Hopefully, see some blue in the stands.
You guys don't know each other, do you?
No, me and Taysom have met before. We've talked here and there. You know, I probably haven't talked to him as much as you know, you would probably expect. But you know, we've come across each other a couple times in Provo, and then he's reached out a little bit. So it's a cool relationship there.
With the comment you made before about playing enables you to get better, obviously you look at Patrick Mahomes, he didn't play as a rookie except the game at the end of the year. Aaron Rodgers, Trey Lance isn't playing in San Francisco for the most part. So there have been cases where it's gone the other way. What is your opinion of the other way compared to the way you're doing it?
Yeah, it works both ways. You know, I think, you know, obviously experiencing those reps firsthand is probably going to be the best way to do it, right? But, you know all those guys are still learning from the reps that their quarterbacks are taking, and we talk about them in film, and that's why when I was out, I felt like I personally learned a lot, from when Mike and Joe and Josh had all played, and I feel like just that experience of being around, you see it all the time with, I started as a freshman in college, and our quarterback, sat behind me for 3-4 years, whatever, and he's having an awesome junior, senior year, and he was there to learn through all of that process, and he was able to experience it all. So I just feel like being around the game, just sitting in those meeting rooms, kind of listening to what everybody's saying, you're able to adjust and do well.
Zach, how valuable has Braxton been for you guys as an offense, special teams, and you've gotten to know him pretty well here in the stretch?
Yeah, Braxton's an awesome dude. Me and him are super close, and we just get along so well. And he's just kind of one of those guys that not a lot of people talk about. He grinds his butt off every single day. Comes in and does his job always. I feel like he's one of the most trusting and reliable receivers that we have on our team. And I feel 100% confident every time he's in the game. And then on special teams, you've seen the impact he's made there. And so he's done an awesome job for this team, just because people don't expect a lot out of him, for whatever reason. I don't feel like he gets the credit he deserves a lot of the time, but he's really done an amazing job, and I hope everyone sees that.
Did you know he was the valedictorian at the Miami School of Business?
No, I didn't know that.
He hasn't shared that?
No, Braxton.
Now you got
Yeah, there we
something
go.
around
Now I'll bring it up to him.
Make sure you ask him about his B. Ask him about the B he got
All
in
right.
finance.
All right, deal. I got a D in econ, so
Everyone good?
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Just gonna come through on the phone.
Give me your.